Hey y'all, welcome to the very first video on my brand new channel, Real Talk from the Holler. Welcome y'all, I'm excited about this channel and I hope you enjoy it too. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out my other channel. It's called From the Holler, and there we deal with addiction and loving and supporting family members and loved ones of addicts. Y'all, I don't wish that life on anybody. I've been dealing with my youngest son's addiction for almost 15 years. And it's exhausting. So unless you've been living under a rock or in a cave, or you've just had your head stuck somewhere it shouldn't have been, y'all know that almost 2 weeks ago, Hurricane Helene hit. And I think by now everybody knows what the reaction from the current administration, and I have to say that with a laugh because it's a joke, okay? And we all know what they've done, what they've said, what they've not done, what they should have done. We've all seen it. Maybe you guys that live way out away from Tennessee and North Carolina, maybe you've not seen it, but I'm sure you've heard about it. If you watch YouTube, I'm sure you've seen the devastation that has gone on around here. I'm sure you have. But have you been told the truth about it? I'm curious to know what everybody's thoughts are as far as how this administration has handled this devastation. Now remember, there are towns, whole towns, that have been destroyed, decimated. Okay? There are still people in those mountains that haven't even been gotten to yet. It's been almost 2 weeks. Okay? Let's remember that. Let's remember that. And you've got the current ice cream liquor and the wannabe Lala, that's what we'll call her, the wannabe Lala. You've got them doing anything and everything possible except giving a rat's butt about the people that have had their lives completely destroyed by this hurricane. They could care less. And let's not forget, FEMA's broke. You know, Lala came out and said, oh, we're going to give them $750. Y'all, within 24 hours, FEMA pops up. Well, you know, we're broke. And then just a couple of days later, she posted something bragging, and I mean bragging, about sending $157 million to Lebanon, and how the people of Lebanon really needed and deserved that money. But yet FEMA's broke, right? How does that work? What's really going on here? You know, when the ice cream liquor can't even remember that there was a storm. What storm? And he says, you know, when he is asked about whether any other help is going to be sent, he says, and I quote, no. They've gotten all they can have. Yeah. Now, there are people out here that are still defending that are still praising that are still voting for that. Why? It wasn't them. It wasn't their house that floated off. It wasn't their family member that they had to sit and watch be taken by the waters. It wasn't their child that was holding on to their hand for dear life and lost their grip. It wasn't their family members that were affected by it. So why should they care? Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stir the pot. Had Donald J. Trump been the president and in office right now, and things were being handled this way with him in the White House, what do y'all think would happen? There would be riots in the street. They'd be destroying businesses. You know, people would be coming down here and jumping on TV and, you know, screaming and hollering and their faces turning red and their eyes bugging out. They'd be demanding parts be put on a silver platter right then and there. They'd be demanding for his resignation. Impeach 45. What we all heard? For no reason at all? For 4 years? Can you imagine what would be being screamed right now if he was in office and he was handling this thing the way it's being handled? Look, I don't care who you're voting for, okay? I don't. None of my business who you're voting for. But at the very least, hold your candidates' feet to the fire, people. If they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, have the guts to call them out. Stop sitting there allowing them to screw over and to hurt innocent Americans just because they can. It might not affect you this time, but by crackies, I can almost guarantee you that at some point in time it will affect you. And then you'll want to sit and cry and whine and go on. No. Hold their feet to the fire now. If they're not doing their jobs, I don't care if it's from the president on down to your local commissioner. If they're not doing their job, speak out against them. Call them out on their stuff. Okay? This BS of them just running the country in the ground, which is exactly what it is. This BS of running this country into the ground, it's got to stop, and it's got to stop soon, because these people that have been affected the most by Hurricane Helene, they're being pushed, they're being shoved into a corner, okay? And they're getting the shit beat out of them right now. What do you think is going to happen? What would you do if you were in that situation? Take a minute, put yourself in that situation. What would you do if you were in that situation? There is almost very little hope, okay? You're relying on the kindness of others to even get the basics, the daily needs, the basic items, okay? You've just watched your house float away, or it just kind of explode and disappear with all the water. You've watched loved ones sadly lose their lives. You're seeing devastation. There is no electricity. In most of these places, there's no running water. There's nothing. There's no cell phone service. And they're being pushed into a corner. And the government is standing there poking their finger in their chest. Comply, comply, comply. What would you do? Do you really think that this is going to end well if things don't ease up, if tensions are not eased? We need a leader, okay? We need a leader to step up and to help ease the tensions that are going on around here. It's not going to be pretty. And I know there's a lot of people that says, be peaceful, be peaceful, be peaceful. Y'all, we've been peaceful for decades, and this is where it's got us. We as a country have sat back, and we've been peaceful, and we've been quiet, and we've taken it, just every bit of it. Every single bit of it. We're tired. We're tired of it. We're tired of having it rammed down our throats. Okay? We're done with it. There's a time to be peaceful. There's a time to speak up. And then there's a time for other things. We're in that time to speak up right now. If we don't, shame on us. Shame on us. We all know what would happen if Trump was in office right now. We've seen it before. We've heard all the rhetoric. Okay? And before anybody comes at me with Trump cult or anything like that, let me put this out there to you. I'm not even a Trump girl. Okay? I'm not a dumb hillbilly either. Okay? I am a smart woman that can put my thoughts together, that can think things through, think for myself. I don't need somebody sitting there telling me, hey, this is the truth. This is the truth. I promise you this is the truth. No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't need somebody to do that for me. I can think for myself. I can research for myself and find out the truth. See, a lot of people can't even do that. They're too lazy to do that. And you see, I'm also the mom of an addict. Okay? I've sat back and I've watched the current administration allow millions to come across that southern border. And what they've brought in with them is one of the newest, deadliest drugs that this country has ever seen. Ever. It's killing our children. It's killing our loved ones. And y'all, they didn't even know that it was mixed in with the drugs until they were gone. How do I know about this? Because my son overdosed just a few months ago on it. He survived that overdose. Thank you, Lord, he survived that overdose. You can tell me I'm crazy all you want to. You need to research Trank and Rhino Trank. And you sure need to research Kensington, because God loved those people in that area in Philadelphia. Bless their hearts. So you see, I'm able to do my research and see what the truth is about things that are going on. I have watched the continual line of illegal after illegal after illegal come across that border, bringing in all kinds of drugs, all kinds of sickness. Where's the 325,000 children that are missing that came across that border? Where are they at? Again, if Trump was in office and was allowing this stuff, whoo, the song that was being sung would be so different, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? But because of who it is, and because who's the puppet master behind all of it, and because of the party it is, there ain't shit being said or done. Y'all are sitting and golf clapping. Let me remind you something. Karma is big, okay? And drug addiction does not discriminate. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. It doesn't matter what kind of a house you have or don't have, or what kind of car you drive or don't drive. It doesn't matter. Drug addiction doesn't discriminate. And it can hit you out of the blue without you ever knowing it's coming. And I promise you, you don't want my life. You don't want any part of the life that I have to live due to my son's addiction. Think about what I've said in this video. Think about how truthful my words have been. Think about how different things would be. What this country would look like. That's all I got to say about that.